Hello everyone, it is Mrs. Cinti here, and I am going to talk to you a little bit about adding and subtracting fractions. Very exciting and something that you've done before. Just to remind you, well, actually, before you write down that note, let's go ahead and, actually, I forgot to pull out this thing. Hold on one second. Desk scribble is what I need right there. Okay, so we're back. Sorry about that. So just to remind you, if we were adding two fractions like 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, you have common denominators, and so that would make you be able to just add them together. So 1 plus 1 is 2, and then the denominator stays the same. 2 over 2 is equal to 1, and that's your answer. 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1. Okay, but when fractions have unlike denominators, what are we going to do with that? And luckily, we've been leading all the way up to this point of finding the least common denominator. So this whole sections 5.1 to 5.5 have really just been leading us into this adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, so for example, if I have again 1/2, but this time I'm adding it to 3/8. Okay, I'm adding it to 3/8. I am going to look for my least common denominator because my fractions have unlike denominators. So my least common denominator. Both 2 and 8 both go into 8 conveniently. And so what we can do is we can change 1/2 to have a denominator of 8. And so to do that, I would multiply the denominator by 4, which means that I have to do the same thing to the top, and I will get 4/8, which, as it turns out, is an equivalent fraction, which we've been learning before, to 1/2. But this is one that is compatible with the 3/8. So now our problem has become, I guess Christmas is coming, 3/8 plus 4/8. Okay, now we keep that same denominator of 8. We add 4 plus 3, and we get 7, and so our final answer will be 7/8, and you cannot simplify this. You can't simplify, and so that means that that's going to be my final answer. Is that your final answer? The answer is yes, 7/8. Eighths. Whoa, sorry. I'm homesick today, so that's maybe why I'm being like this. Okay, let's look at another example. Let's say that it's -5 ninths. Let's pull in those negatives, plus a -2 ninths. Okay, and I wrote that wrong, sorry. This would be 5/6. I was going to say that's not so hard, right? We need to use that least common denominator. So 5/6 plus a -2 ninths, okay? Oh. So what we have to do is find the least common denominator again. So to use kind of the strategies that we used before, if there isn't one that's super apparent to you, 6 is 2 times 3, and 9 is 3 times 3. So the most factors here are 2 3s and then also a 2 here. So what is 2 times 3 times 3? The answer is 18. So what we need to do is we need to get both of these fractions in a form of 18. That's the least common denominator. So for -5/6, I'm going to multiply both of these by, you guessed it, 3. I'm going to turn this fraction into -15 over 18. And the other one, -2 ninths, I'm going to multiply both of these by 2 to get it up to 18, because I need that denominator 18, and 4, and again it's negative. So now my new problem has become -15 over 18 plus a -4 over 18, okay? When you're on that negative side of the scale, what you're doing is you're adding these two absolute values together. So -15 plus a -4 over 18 is equal to a -19 over 18. And that would be the answer that you would circle for right now. However, I have a little bit of a guideline for you. to follow. So the next question is, how do we write fraction answers? And I'm realizing that my face is probably covering up this. How do we write fraction answers? And as it turns out, the simplest form is a mixed number, not an improper fraction. So my answer in that last section, that last problem was negative 19/18, but that needs to be put into, it needs to be changed, that delta symbol means changed, into a mixed number, okay, into a mixed number. And so to do that, you've been practicing that as well in this previous section. You would do 18 divided by, and we'll put the negative right there, 19. So 18 divided into 19, sorry. You know that it goes in one time. There's a 0 here, 18 and 1/18. So my answer is going to be 1, negative 1 and 1/18. Do not forget those negatives. Do not forget those. That would be my final answer. So although this is correct, the proper way to write the answer to a problem with fractions in it is a mixed number. Okay. The last part that this section deals with, and again, I think I wrote, this section does a lot with adding and subtracting negatives. So I just need to remind us of the rules, the positive and negative rules. If you are, if you think about it, negative 5 plus 10 is equal to 5. And how do we know that? If you're on a number line, you're at, let's say, negative 5 here. You're adding 10 whole numbers, so that means you're adding 10 all the way here to get you to the 5 here. That is completely uneven, sorry. But that's how we do that, okay? A negative 3 plus a negative 3. You're adding 2 negative 3 parts, so you have your number line again. Here's 0, here's negative 3, and then you're adding another negative 3. So that will bring you to negative 6. Okay, so these are all things to remind you of this concept. So let's go through another example with more negatives in it. So let's say that I have 3/10, and I'm subtracting from that 1/6. So again, least common denominator. If we look at 10 first, 10 is 2 times 5, LCD we can say. What is it? 6 is 2 times 3. So we have, commonly we have these two, so we can use this one, 5 and 3. So what is 2 times 5 times 3? 10 times 3 is 30. So we have to change both of our fractions into 30. 3/10 will be multiplied by 3 to get it, the denominator, to 30. And 1/6 becomes 30 when we multiply both top and bottom by 5. Okay, so this problem is really saying, what is 9/30 minus or subtract 5/30? The answer is going to be 4/30. Now, is this proper? Okay, it's not an improper fraction. Okay, so but can I report it as this, or do I have to simplify it more? And the answer is you absolutely have to simplify. We simplify by finding, by factoring it again. 2 times 2 is 4, and 30 is, we've kind of decided over here, it's 2 times 5 times 3. Over here we have decided that. These are common, so we're going to get rid of that, and so we're going to have 2 over 15 is what remains, and that is going to be my answer. Okay, so we have to simplify by reducing. Okay, so that's one example. I think we can end there. If you have any questions, you can obviously ask in class. Have a great day. See you soon. In a while, crocodile.